Hello, hello. All right, today I just figured I'd try to show some of my coin collection. It's always stacking precious metals and all that, but I knew numismatics is what got me into this in the first place. So I figured I'd show some of that if anybody's into numismatics and coin errors, stuff like that. So I'll start with the errors. This one, if you know of the off-center strikes, it's not struck directly on the planchet. And then pennies have certain years, they have wide AM and close AM in America. But this one, I mean, you can't really, but the A and the M, they should be touching. And there's a small gap in between. So that's known as a wide AM. Plus the fact that it's off-center strike. There's not too many of these around. This one I actually found on eBay a long time ago. I was just looking through, and when I zoomed in on the picture, I saw that wide AM, and I got this for like $15. But this one I'd probably never get rid of just because it's such a unique double whammy of errors, but with being off center, and the wide AM variety. All right, and the next one is a 1982 P Kennedy. This one is known with an error, and normally it has the FG, which is the designer's initials, and the error for that is no FG. So these are created when I believe there's grease in the die. So when they stamp these, that FG wasn't put on the coin. I have another example. See how it's missing right there? So, I just thought that was kind of cool. It's a little error. People like the errors. I think one of the most popular ones, 1939 P Jefferson nickel, double die. I mean, this doubling you can see really, really good. See that? I would like to get it graded, but I'm not sure if I'm going to put in, it costs money to join up, and then you got to mail them in. So I might just keep them raw, but that's a pretty good example. This is a 1943 that was actually punched over a 1942. You can it's hard to make out, but you can see the point coming off the bottom of the 3. They actually had a 1942, and then they repunched it into a 1943. So that's another popular error. It's not even an error. I mean, they did it on purpose, but it's just it's a hard find. So I went a little crazy with the Jefferson nickels. I want to try to get all the top varieties. You know, if you get one of these like mint state, they're, you know, $500 to $1,000, you know, graded and all that. These are another two that are very, very popular in the Jefferson Nichols error world. This is the famous 1943 P double die, which is also known as the double eye, because you can see it looks like he has two eyes. It's almost like blurry. This one's probably my favorite error. It is a better version. I want to get this one graded as well, because this is a much higher example. You can see the hair has a lot more detail. You know, it's just a very good example of a 1943. And this also has the double eye. So if I got this graded, you know, that would fetch, you know, a decent amount, probably 300, something like that. But so those are some of my error coins, and then I'll just show some of my other favorite coins that I have. The Flying Eagle, 1857. I think they only made this 3 years. 1856, 57, and 58. I mean, if you get an 1856 in any grade, that's a very, very hard find, worth a lot of money. But even this one, it's, you know, it's not the best example, but it's pretty good. So this is the better example. You know, it's a lot more detail. And, you know, you got the classics, 1909 VDB. There you go. It's not an S, unfortunately. That would be nice. And this one's another one I had, 1909 VDB. Again, not San Francisco mint. That would be very, very nice. Very rare. My Standing Liberty quarters, 1925. Yeah, it's nothing fancy there. 1930 S. Looks a little better, but definitely has some wear to it. 1920 S. Same thing. Looks pretty good, but it's not the best. And this is a 1917 Type 1, which I'm not sure what this would grade. It has some wear on the leg right there. I know there's, you know, there's definitely some flat spots there, but if you look at the head, I mean, I don't know if that would get full head designation, because usually the head's worn. You know, the headband, the face. But I mean, you can see it's a lot of detail there, so it's kind of odd that the lower part was worn. Usually it's up top. The head is flat. But that's a nice one. I would like to get graded. These are just some other older ones I have. 1865. I found this at a thrift store a long time ago. Not the best example, but it's a 3-cent piece. This one's not silver. The silver version has a star on the back. But I just like the 3. It reminds me of the 3%. If you're into that. So I just, when I saw it, I figured I'd grab it. I think they had it for like $15, so I just grabbed it. Seated quarter. It's a very bad example. Very, very worn. But I didn't have one. I figured I would get it just to add to the collection. I would like to get better grades of these. But, they get a little pricey once you get into the nicer grades above extra fine. And then these are two. I bought these empty and then I added my own. So it's an 1898 set. So you got the Indian penny, Barber nickel, Barber dime, Barber $half, and quarter, $half, and 1898 Morgan. And just run down the line for the reverse. And I have a 1900 because I wanted turn of the century. So I grabbed a bunch of 1900. I would like to get a 1909 Indian head cent, which is the last year, because I actually transitioned from the Indian head cent to the Lincoln cent, 1909. So I thought, it'd be kind of cool to have a 1909 Indian head cent and 1909 Lincoln cent. That's actually a little better example of a dime. That quarter looks like it might have been cleaned. A lot of these I got on eBay. 20 years ago, I was new. So a lot of them were probably cleaned, but I didn't care. I just wanted them at the time. And I got them very, very cheap 20 years ago. You can imagine. I probably didn't pay much for these. And you got the 1900 Morgan. Just go down the line again. I just figured I would show some of my favorite coins that I got. This is a funny back silver certificate. I just thought it was cool that just has one really big on the back. But they are known as funny backs just because I guess they look funny. And this was that set I mentioned in a previous video. I was trying to get a better view of the coins there. I got this for $10 at a coin shop, and they had bad examples in here, so I put my own in, and you can see they're a lot better detailed. Just some nice looking coin. Yeah, it's really it. Again, I have a whole lot more just off camera that way. But I just took out my favorites. 20 years ago, I just started collecting coins and getting into the errors and the different varieties. And then I got into silver bullion. But that's about it. So just thought I'd share. If you're into numismatics, comment, what are your favorites down below. And thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.